Hello. Hello, everybody. This is Bart Sharp, and this is Becoming Quantum Conscious at United Public Radio and UFO Paranormal Radio at 107.7 and 103.5 out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. And the moral for today is, before I say the moral of today, I also wanted to tell you that we are also on YouTube, Roku, Facebook, and the UPRN talkradio.com website. I love that one. But the moral of the story of the day is if you push the wrong button, you could be in trouble, and look for surprises without any expectations, without anxieties, but curiosity. I think there's a really big belief that people forget that they can handle just about anything, particularly if they are in tune with their fullest capacities of who they are, which that means believing who you are, and that the belief that whatever you face, you will have the answers within you, as opposed to I have to have somebody else to fix this for me. Unless you're talking about an air conditioning system, which I have problems with mine, and I needed AC repairman after I found out I couldn't do it. However, it is a good rule of thumb that you do have everything within you to get the job done, which brings me to my guest today, Ricardo Gonzales. I've known Ricardo. I'll bring him on right now. Hi,
Hi, everybody.
Ricardo.
Hello, Bart. How are you doing today?
I am good. I was just
Great.
about to start a sentence with I have known Ricardo for at least 15
At
years.
least, yes,
At
yes,
least we have been psychic buddies at Metaphysical fairs in Austin, Texas. We
correct.
also both operated and ran the Holistic Chamber of Commerce out of Austin.
Yes,
Uh, Ricardo has also ran the Austin Metaphysical Academy and also the International Metaphysical Ministry,
yes, that's true.
which is your website right now, www.internationalmetaphysicalministry.com.
Correct.
Uh, so, you've been at it for a long time.
Yes, I have. I have been doing this type of work in the metaphysical field for over 38 years.
Wow.
I know. I can't believe it. I woke up the other day going like 38 years. Oh my God.
Yes, yes, and it's just totally amazing how all of that works. Ricardo just did a reading for a friend of mine who wanted to live in my neighborhood, and Ricardo said, "Okay, you're going to be 11 minutes from Bart's house with the price of a house that is just right for you in a neighborhood you love." And I'm just like, "Okay, we'll see." Of course, the only thing that did not happen in that reading is 11 minutes. It's 12 minutes away. So it's like,
I missed it by a minute. Oh my God.
yeah. Sometimes it's just funny how all of that works. But you've been
Yes.
in this psychic world and seeing some things that aren't pretty.
Mm-hmm. True.
That so the title of today's topic is metaphysical body. Why does that hurt?
That's correct. Yes, that is my topic today, and I thought it would be a very interesting one for several people. And if you want me to continue on, Bart, we could
I
start talking
do.
about what the metaphysical body is about. Now, I want to put a disclaimer right up front for anybody who's taking allergy medications or any kind of medications, please continue on. And the information that I'm getting ready to give you, I want you to add it into your life. I'm not saying to delete one and then create another thing. And I'll explain more as time progresses of what I mean by that. Okay. The belief in spirituality and the belief in metaphysics is whenever there's a pain that happens into your body, that is your spirit telling you that there's something wrong on an emotional or mental level. So every time that you have something that happens to you, whether it's small or whether it's big, there's something that the spirit, your guide, your emotions, your mental is telling you that there's something wrong. Now, there is a study in the University of Texas in Galveston. What they have is they have a metaphysical, they have a medical center. There every single night they deliver about 500 to 1,000 bodies of people who died of natural causes.
Hey,
So,
Ricardo, you're
yes, ma'am.
you're
Yes.
leaning you're leaning back so you're away from your microphone.
Okay. How does that look? How's
You're
that?
you're you're a little blurry in your voice.
Okay. What about here?
Yeah, that's better. And so, how many people did they find at the University of Texas?
The University of Texas in Galveston gets about 500 bodies per night of people that actually died of natural causes. And what they do is they take it to the labs there because they have medical students. And what the medical students do is they open the physical body and they see what did they really die for. They went to doctors. They did everything in their power, and they died of natural causes. But when they opened the bodies up, they saw heart attacks, they saw tumors, lung infections, cancer, all kinds of things. But the medical students, along with the board, they keep on saying, how did these people survive those things? And a lot of the people, the average age is between 85 to 92. So, what actually is happening at that moment in time is the physical body will die when it's ready to die. Now, what this lecture that it's about is that the body's divided in two sections. You have the right side and you have the left side. If there's any kind of pain that happens on your right side, it's something to do about your future, something that's going to come along. If you have a problem on the left side of your body, it's something about your past. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up piece by piece of what it is. Your
Hmm.
physical body tells you what's going on emotionally. And when you correct that problem, that part of your body corrects. So let's start with the head. A lot of people get headaches. Now, when you get a headache, well, basically what your body's saying is that you're overthinking. People who actually have chronic headaches is because their thinking is too heavy and too much. If it's the right side of the brain or the right side of the body, you're thinking too much of the future and you're over existing that situation. If it's on the left side of your body or your brain, that means you're holding on to your past too tightly and you have to let it go. We believe in metaphysics and spirituality that any kind of pain that is created within the body is because there's something going on that you need to correct and fix. So, as we see that, that seems to be something that is going on with the physical body. Now, I want you to think that the right side of your brain is the masculine part of you. The left side of the brain is the feminine side of you. So if it's on the
And,
right
and, and
side, that you
it would,
could,
just to clarify, would that also be on the left
sure,
side of the body and the right side of the body
that is correct.
as well?
So the left
All
side of the
right.
body will be the feminine. Now, the
All right.
feminine energy, which is on the left side of the body, that basically means you're so over emotional about the situation. The emotions is starting to get control of you. The right side of the body, which is the masculine side, that means you're too strong with the idea. There's too much passion in the strength. You have to have it. You gotta get it done. There's no if and buts about it. That's how the actual body is actually doing development. Now, if you have, now let's go a little bit down in your body. Let's say you're a person that has shoulder problems. You always have a shoulder pain. The shoulder pain will not go away. You don't know what's really going on. Now, keep in mind, shoulder is all about responsibility. Shoulder pains are about responsibility. So that means you have too much responsibility in your life. So your physical body is telling you, hey, you got too much going on. You need to slow it down. Now, of course, like I said, if it's the right side of the body, it's the responsibility of always worrying about your future. How am I going to do this? What is going to happen? Where am I going? Am I going to be employed next week, next month? Do I have enough money? So the shoulder starts activating the pain because you're overburdened with that thought. If it's the left shoulder, that basically means you're holding on to something that is happening. You can't let it go. You don't care what's going on. You're too emotional with the sight. Why am I
So,
feeling that pain?
so we could be having a conflict like happening, 10 years ago that we've repressed
Uh-huh.
and not addressed, and it would still be nagging in our body. We're, all of
That is
all that
correct.
time.
That is That is correct. Those are the people that actually, let's say, would do the shoulders, and they go to a doctor after doctor after doctor, and the doctor says, "Well, this is what the problem is," but it's not really there. It's because something happened to them 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 18 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 months ago, and they just cannot release that pain no matter what until they take care of it on a mental emotional side. Then this is where the shoulder problem will start going away. We humans are very good about covering the thought. Let's go buy a cream to release that pain. Let's do exercise so we can make sure we do it right. Let's get somebody to massage our shoulder so we can release that pain. But in reality, it stays there because there's no real way of taking care of whatever that mentality is. Maybe you got hurt and you got hurt 10 years ago from a friend of yours and you still have that pain. You don't want to let go of that pain. So
We
this
do,
is
and I
where
do.
the shoulders are.
And
Go
before
ahead.
we say anything, I'd just like to say hi to Heidi Gold and thanks for your comments there.
Uh-huh.
That we have all of these things. And if you do have a question for Ricardo, I'm going to just chime it in, Ricardo, and put it on the screen and you'll see it. And you can answer it as you see fit.
No problems at all. Okay, sounds
Yes,
good.
I'm sorry to
So this
interrupt you
is where the
because
shoulders are.
you are hot at it.
No, that's okay. I think that's great. I'm glad that we're getting an audience and people are listening to what we're talking about. I'm so glad about that. Now let's go to the neck. The neck or throat problem is basically saying that you're not expressing your feelings. So people who have neck injuries, neck problems, people who always have sore throats, people who always have to have something in their mouth in order for them to clear the problem, and that's because they're not voicing what their opinion is. They're not saying what they think that is right or think is wrong. So the throat is getting tight. There's where people do gargling to make sure they clear the throat. Or maybe they take a lassenger, or maybe they take something to actually clear the throat. And those two work, but they work temporarily. In
Yeah.
reality, you need to start telling your truth. Say
And
what you
also,
think that needs to be said.
but
When,
also,
go ahead. When you
this
do
would
that,
also be in your
it clears
vertebrae
it up.
too. I'm sorry, Ricardo.
Yes, it is.
I
Yes, it
interrupt you.
is. No, that's good. I'm glad you're making those comments. It's good. That's what it actually is. So these pains that are actually being caused or things that are happening, people cannot relieve that pain because there's something that needs to be said. I knew this woman once who came for me, and for 5 years she was having throat problems. She just couldn't understand why. And I said, well, did you tell people your truth? Are you telling people what you're saying? She goes, no, I never do that. As soon as she started doing that, the release of the pain started going away. And her throat felt a lot more better because that's what was going on in that part of her problem, part of herself.
Mm.
Okay. Now, let's go a little bit more further down. Let's go about the heart.
All right.
We know people who have maybe strokes, maybe heart attacks, maybe they have complications to the heart. A lot of it that has to do is because they're not have self-love and they're not getting love in their heart, in their life. So there's some kind of love that is needed. Maybe they're always talking down about themselves, or maybe just don't feel right about what's going on. So people have emotional or ties with the heart. They've got to get that love. They got to get that embrace. They got to hear "I love you." They got to hear more the words of love. Maybe they don't feel comfortable enough to being in love. Some people want love so bad, you tell them "I love you," and they cannot handle that stress because it's just not in their vocabulary. It's not in their heart. So if anybody has any kind of heart problems, this basically means you're lacking love. There's some kind of love that you need. Maybe you need self love. Maybe you need to spend a little bit more time and give yourself more self love. If you do that, maybe you'll become a little bit more better. And I keep
So
on seeing it over and over again. People come to
yeah,
me with that heart problem.
yeah, and when you do that in readings, I mean, I think this is a real core issue that so much stems from love
Hmm.
and lack of love, and it may start in the heart, but it also may go to other body parts as well. And
Correct.
when you see
Correct.
this, because you do all kinds of psychic readings with people, for lack of better words. Well, you are a psychic reader, so it's probably the best word.
Hmm.
But when you see that in people, what are some of the things you tell them? What are some of your perspectives of those times, those cases?
You know, that's a good point you're making, Bart. It's so funny. I do readings, and I have people who have a complication whenever they sit in front of me. And the very first thing that I tell them is, I love you. You should see that vibration change within
Mm,
that person when they hear those words. I had a woman who came to me. She goes, I haven't heard that being told to me in 30 years.
wow.
He has not heard that to be told to her 30 years. And that's something that we lack of, all of us do. That's why it's important to say I love you to your friends, your companions, to whoever you feel, because if you don't put that within them, they're not going to have that self-love or that picture that they need. Simple words of saying I love you to somebody, you could pick so much on that person. You could just
Yes.
fix so much in that person just by saying that, just by being with them in that process. You speak so much. So the heart is all about the heart, not the love. Something is lacking within that person.
And we think about, well,
Okay.
if you have an
Or
intimate
next symptom.
if you have an intimate relationship, you're thinking, well, that's going to
Hmm.
fulfill all of that, but it's not
Correct.
always the case. There's
That's correct. That's
there
correct.
there's so many different forms of love, and the question I ask myself and would ask others is,
Hmm.
what is the expression that you need right now? It changes from time to time. It
Correct.
has many
Correct.
applications. It may not even be with another
Correct. And
person.
it will do, and it will happen. Yes, sir. That's true.
I mean,
That is
I
so
mean,
true. That's so true.
so,
I hear a lot of times that people say, "Well, my husband does things to love me, but I would love to hear that him say that to me." I hear that a lot from a lot of people.
yeah,
The action is great, but if you don't hear it, sometimes that doesn't heal what needs to be healed.
yes. So
So I think that that's
the
very interesting.
yes, it is. It's about listening and expressing with that.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, Let's go with the elbows. The elbows is you're not being flexible.
Whoa.
It's all about flexibility.
I have a
So if
sore
you hear
elbow.
people say, I have a tennis elbow problem, my elbows are not my, yeah, you don't have flexibility. You're not
Mm.
flexible enough. So people who have elbow problems, that flexibility is a problem. You're not being
Okay.
flexible.
Okay. So I will stand under the light here and ask you. My left elbow
Uh-huh.
suddenly received inflammation there, and of course, there's a lot of
Okay.
inflammation is my issue. Inflammation will come into a joint and be painful. This happens once or twice a year generally, and I have a Dickens of a time, and I could say,
Okay.
"Oh, it's an allergy problem," uh, but I know the base of it is
Correct.
emotional. So, and also I want to remind anybody that, hey, if
Correct.
you have a question for Ricardo about something inside of you and you want an analysis on the show, you're open for that, right, Ricardo? You're willing to
I am
give
open
that.
for that so we can analyze
Woo!
and see what's going on with you. I'm open for
Okay,
that.
so take that elbow on. This is the left elbow.
Inflammation, take that elbow. Now it depends on the right and the left. So
Hmm.
remember, if it's the right side, that means you're not flexible of what's going to happen into the future.
Hmm.
Maybe you have a schedule conflict. Maybe the schedule's not right. Maybe they're
Hmm.
making you do something you don't want to do. So the flexibility is not there on the left. Now let's say it's in the left. You're still holding on to some emotional guidance of something that happened to you in the past. And you were supposed to be flexible at that time, but you never were. So you hold on to that resistance of what took place. Inflammation in the body is basically saying, I am over stimulus of the thinking of what was supposed to happen instead of what it needs to be. It's too
Okay,
much.
so
You're sitting there
so
guided too much.
my question, because I always open awareness with questions, and questions open me to awareness of something. So for my
Hmm.
elbow in this in that feeling inflexible, I have to ask that question first. Where and this is more my intuition popping up. It's more my application, but I want to say it for the audience so you may get some insight. And I'm stalling here because I got to get tuned into this because mine is about feeling I have to serve others instead of serving myself. So where am I
Correct. Now,
inflexible in meeting my own needs? That would be the question I ask.
because
Because
of two different things. You're not being flexible with yourself, and you're not being flexible with others.
uh-huh,
So when it comes to you, you have this mentality, I don't want to be flexible with me. This is how it's going to be. And then
yeah,
when it comes to others, you're not trying to be flexible with them. So there's a double duty that's going on at that moment in time. Now, I had one client who
duty is
comes
a
to me
big
and says,
word.
well, I don't have a real, yes,
Say that again. I don't have a
yes, it
real
is a
what?
big word,
You said
but
I don't
it's
have
the
a
actual
real.
reality of what's taking place with you.
You kind of bleeped
I'm
out,
sorry, you figured
Ricardo.
out.
So you said you had a
Yep,
client and he said I don't have, and then you kind of blipped.
right. I don't have a problem with my elbows, but my elbow hurts me every November. I said, well, if you
Ooh,
don't have a problem this November, maybe you have a problem in November of 2010
okay,
or November of 2019.
right.
So there was something that was going on in your life during that time period, create the inflexibility with the elbow. And now you're
Hmm.
feeling the pain today because you haven't released that thinking. You haven't
Hmm.
released that problem. You haven't let go of that situation. And
Mm.
that's why the elbow hurts today.
So you as a psychic would then go in and start to help this person find what that was? Is that how it works?
True. I'll analyze, yeah, what happened. Yeah, true. Now, that guy, we figured out that he had a problem of flexibility 15 years earlier.
Mm.
So we looked at it, we dealt with it, and we fixed it and corrected it. He
Wow.
came back to me 6 months later without no elbow problem
Wow. Well,
because
this
we
is so,
saw what the problem was.
and this is so much based in psychology, about whatever is stuck in our lives that we've not resolved and we just push it aside, it will always come back to have a voice some way, shape, or form. And it might not be pretty.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And the thing is, the body is such a smart machine. It knows what your feelings are and it knows what to correct. But we don't listen to our bodies. We just
Mm.
think, oh, it's an elbow problem. A Tylenol or an aspirin will take care of it. Not really going deep to see what the real problem is. We just don't do that. You know,
A
I'll go to sleep early and get rid of it that way.
Yes, yes. And just
True.
think about all the energy you use to repress that experience. It's just like, I don't want to face this. I want to push it
Right.
aside. I don't have a solution for it. And
Correct.
repression takes energy. So a little bit of you goes
Right.
to keep that pushed down as
Correct. And it
opposed
creates that
to
around the body.
accessing more energy for your dreams and creations and other things. It's good stuff. And we are at
Correct.
midpoint of the show,
Correct.
Ricardo. I wanted to tell everybody that you are listening to Ricardo Gonzales of the International Metaphysical Ministry, and that would be www.internationalmetaphysicalministry.com. Ricardo's a psychic. God, I think he was born psychic. Well, we all are born psychic, but he was one of those little kids that saw all kinds of things in his
Yes.
house and go, Mom, what's behind you? And the mom's going, what? But that's who he is, and he's a big mainstay in the Austin community. Also, my name is Bart Sharp, and you are on Becoming Quantum Conscious. And this is United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 107.7 and 103.5 out of New Orleans, Louisiana. So, we've been talking about elbows, shoulders, and hearts, and all the underlying problems that are emotional, psychological, and psychic that keep them hurting and unresolved. And we're just kind of going through the body.
True.
What's next?
Yes, we are. We're going to the whole body. Yes. What's next? We're going to go talk about the wrist. People have wrist problems. Um, when people have wrist
Oh, yeah.
problems, that basically means they're looking for freedom.
Come, come forward a little bit,
They're
Ricardo.
looking for freedom if it's a wrist. Okay. How about this?
Better.
Yes.
They're looking for freedom.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
They're
You're looking
looking
for
for
freedom.
freedom.
Anybody who has wrist problems, they're looking for freedom. So people who have the tunnel problem on their wrist and try to correct it that way, or they're always popping their wrist, it's because somewhere somehow they're looking for that freedom, and they don't have that freedom in their lives. So they're trying. They do this a lot. They'll massage their wrist, or they'll shake their hands or something along that way. It's because they are really seeking that freedom. They want to get away from what's going on in their lives. They don't like how they built their lives. They want something different. and they don't know how to voice that opinion to the people that are around them. Something is just not feeling right. So they always have that problem, the risk right there.
Hmm.
Okay? Fingers.
One fingers.
Fingers means you're having problems. Fingers. Fingers means that you're having problems to connect with people. You're having connection problems. You don't know how to connect with people. So people who pop their fingers or they're always massaging their fingers or their hands
Uh-huh.
get cold and they have their hands warm or they walk around with cold hands, they're not connecting with
Or
people.
they
They don't know how to connect with
or
people.
they're having or they're having
There's a connection
arthritis.
issue and problems.
Wow. Or they're having arthritis or pain
I'm
there
sorry, I didn't
in
hear
their
that.
stiff. They have
Oh, they have an
arthritis,
arthritis.
or
Now,
they have pain in their
author,
fingers.
arthritis is,
Okay,
yes,
you blipped out, so you got to come forward a little bit and speak again. I talked about arthritis and you responded, and none of that showed up.
how's that? Yes,
Better.
yes. Now, you're saying something about arthritis in the finger.
Yes.
Arthritis in the finger is basically saying you're overemphasizing that connection. You're afraid to connect with others. It's
Mm,
overemphasizing in your body too much. You're spending too much time by yourself. You're spending too much time avoiding people. You don't want to connect. You want to connect on emotional level, but you're afraid of connecting. This is why arthritis comes in our fingers. Too much. You got to get
wow.
out there. You got to start meeting people. You got to start doing whatever you need to do.
And there's so many people with
So the
arthritic
arthritis is
fingers.
basically your body's telling you, stop, go out, do something, get together with people.
You know, in Louise B. Hayes' book, Heal Your Body, which, if you do not have that book, you're missing something great, because she gives a lot of the emotional problems with each body part,
Mhm.
similar to this show. But what she talks about with arthritis is that there's a lack of love in one person's life. And when we think about people that are older, that arthritis sinks in such, I just wonder how many of those people feel disconnected from other people or from their past, or they've lost friends and they've not done exactly what you're saying, which is getting out there and connecting.
Correct. And a lot of older people, older people are being like in nursing homes, or they're putting placed in a home in their house and nobody comes and visits them, or they don't
Yes.
go out to a restaurant or something. So there's a lot of disconnection with the older people. They don't get that at all. So people would rather go and put dad in the home and I'll visit him maybe in Thanksgiving or maybe in Christmas, not understanding that a daily, weekly, or a monthly visit will help to increase that and make it better for him. So that's why a lot of older people have arthritis in the fingers because they don't have that connection like they used to have when they were younger. And now that they're older, nobody's
Yeah.
visiting nobody. Nobody's going and caring for that person or going and cooking or spending time with them.
And maybe part of that is also finding, well, what kind of love can fulfill me? And it may not necessarily be interaction with other people. It might be that you start painting or doing something that fulfills your heart's desire in another way. Are we connecting?
Prepares the heart. There we go.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you off and on.
Okay. Okay. I think we just both need to get
See, we're
closer to
not
our mics.
connecting, Bart. We're not connecting.
Hand to hand. Come on, brother.
Yeah, we got to connect somehow, Bart. We got to connect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's basically what that means right there. Um, Now, if you have stomach problems, let's go a little bit more further. Stomach problems are nervousness. You're nervous about something. And so people who have gastrointestinal problems, or they have upset stomach, or they have a lot of cramps in their stomach area, or they eat something and it just doesn't fulfill the stomach, all that basically bottom is you're nervous. You're nervous of the past, you're nervous of the present, or you're nervous of the future. There's something going on nervously. So maybe you're overthinking about the event you're going to do next week or next month or next year, and you're just so nervous about it. Or maybe you're getting ready to meet somebody new and you're nervous about it. Or maybe you're just nervous about the job, or you're hearing rumors there's going to be a layoff at your work. So you go to work so nervous and the stomach is starting to get upset. Anything with the stomach issue is about nervous. So you're nervous about something in some way and somehow. Something's making you very nervous about it. And of course, we all do what we naturally do. We do the medication, or we'll do the hot teas, or we'll try to eat something light to get our stomach back to order. But in reality, there's a nervousness that's actually going on with you that you got to get yourself back into order in some way, somehow.
Hmm. So, what are some of the
Okay?
things that with somebody was
Now,
saying like that? Oh, I
hips.
have this problem, and you're going, well, it's your stomach, dude, and what would be some of the advice you would give that person to say, how do you get that resolved? I mean, any uh, advice that you could give our audience, like when you
What I
do
normally do when I,
have something
yeah,
unresolved?
what yeah, what I normally do when the person comes in with a nervous system or a nervous stomach, I say, I always ask, so what's going on in your life? What good thing is going on and what bad thing is going on? And then we start discussing what's going on in life. And then I said, you're very nervous about that. And of course they go to me, no, I'm not nervous about it. I said, but your body's telling you you are nervous about it. There's something that is really causing some issues and problems for you. And this is why you're having those kind of problems. And of
Mm,
course, we discuss it. We go a little bit more further in the conversation. And the next thing you know, it comes out they're nervous about whatever is going to take place. Like a woman came to me about a month ago and she's very nervous. Well, I found out that her teenage daughter is dating this guy she doesn't like. So she's nervous about the relationship. She's very nervous in how it's going to be and what is it going to be about. So we gave her psychic reading and we said, well, just kind of keep calm down and let them figure out what they need to figure out. And as time progresses, they did. But the nervousness that she was having because she was remembering herself when she was 16 and the problems she caused at that age. So she was trying to
mm,
incorporate that into this because she saw what she did when she was 16. And I said, well, this is a different world, different situation, and your daughter's a different woman. So you need to understand where she's coming from. But she was so busy in her head remembering what she did when she was 16 years old. And she didn't want her daughter to go through it. So the nervousness came in of the
and
situation and the problem.
wow, that's such a great story, and it really exemplifies of this process of intellectually knowing some of those stories, and B, having someone
Correct.
who's intuitive that intervenes to take it deeper. The clarity shows up, and they remember deeper aspects of the story, and suddenly they see a big picture and they feel better. They see the whole thing at once.
That you see the big picture. She saw the big picture after speaking with her. Yeah. She saw the big picture and she knew what was going on. And she goes, you make sense. I was too busy putting my personal life into her life, which was creating the nervousness within
Mm.
me. And I said, well, when you decide to separate your life from her life, you will see things in a different way. And she did that and she felt a lot more better. Let's talk about hips.
Wonderful.
We all have hips, and I know hips are interesting. Hips are about family problems.
Come a little bit closer. Family
Hips
problems
are
with hips.
about family problems. There's too much family problems that you're carrying. The hips. So it's too many issues with the family, or you're having You're holding on to somebody else's problem, not your problem, but it's
Mm,
family, and this is why you're having hit problems. So
wow.
again, remember, the right side is about the future with the family. The left side is
The
about the
future with the
past
fam.
with the future with family. I had a woman who came to me, she had a right hip problem. And she was complaining and she went to every doctor she could think of, and there's no help. Well, after sitting with her, I found out her daughter was going to get married that summer, and she didn't want that wedding to take place. So it started developing, she started developing the hip problems because of the case and the situation. And then she was feeling the pain as time progresses because we were getting closer to the date of the wedding. She was too busy in her mind well, it's not going to work out. I don't know why they're getting married. They're too young. This is not going to be place, and they're going to always be broke. I said, why are you worried about things you don't even know what's going to happen? You don't know what's going to take place. And we talked about it as time progresses. And her daughter was marrying this guy at the same age he was when she got married.
Oh,
So it kind of put a relationship within her mind. Well, I remember when I was that age, and these are the mistakes that me and her dad did. And I said, well, that's not the case in situation. So we talked about it and everything, and she felt a lot more better. And her hip problem went away because she was
wow.
thinking about the hips.
Wonderful.
Interesting, isn't it?
It is.
I know. It is. So let's go with the knees. A lot of people have knee problems nowadays, and they crack and they all this fun stuff with the knees. Um, it's about knees are about not being flexible enough. Not being flexible enough. Okay. So it's like we're gonna have a party and I'm inviting you and I want you to bring something to drink, but you refuse to bring something to drink. You're not being flexible enough. Oh, talk about the knees. That's what we're talking about, the knees. You're
Yeah.
not being
Hi,
flexible enough.
Phyllis.
You refuse to be flexible. You stand your ground. You're too busy standing your ground. What was that?
Mm.
So you're really holding back on that flexibility.
So you may be wanting to ask some questions such as,
You gotta
what is it do I
got to
feel
watch a
stuck
movie and
in?
go, yeah, going. I don't care what.
How
Yeah,
many
I feel
things in our
stuck in.
life,
And
how
you
many
just
things in our life do we feel like I can't stand, I will not allow change to happen in that aspect of my life? You're standing your ground. Like, I can't, I'm not going to allow my relationship with a friend change, or I can't let go of my job
right,
because it makes me too much money, even though I hate it. Uh, and those are issues that we may be standing our ground with. I love sugar and I know it's
right,
bad for me, but
right.
I'm not going to stop it. So many things.
That's right. See, right. And see, you're not being flexible enough. You know, and she had knee problems. And I kept on saying, well, you need a new job. No, I'm not going to change jobs. I don't care what you say. I don't care what anybody tells me. Well, you're not being flexible enough. You're not seeing the reality of what needs to take place for change to occur in your life. You just refuse it.
Yeah.
You're going,
Well,
no, I don't care what you say.
and maybe also the possibility is that you say, well, okay, this isn't the best job for me,
Hmm.
and what is it that I can't stand about it, and how can I find flexibility, with those aspects
That's true.
and
And
stay
that's
at that job. I mean, you can break it down to micromanage certain issues that are difficult, and those could be great learning lessons.
right.
Yeah. Uh, so a lot of that
That's true. That's
happens.
true. That's something needs to happen. But see, who are not flexible, people who are not flexible will not think that way.
Hmm.
They just
Well,
refuse. Bottom line, this is how it is. I don't care what.
do you ever recommend people use applied kinesiology or muscle testing? Because some people just don't have a psychic around the corner that they can go to their house or go to their
Yes,
reading table
yes.
or
In some
something.
cases, yes,
So you like applied kinesiology to ask questions.
yes, yes. I do apply some of those things, and I tell people to do that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
told one lady, she goes, "My knees hurt," and I said, "Take a walk." What? My knees hurt. That's not going to help me. Take a walk. Go walk and get that flexibility going. And as soon as you see that, you'll see changes within your life. But
Mm.
it's very difficult for a lot of people.
It
Okay,
is. It is.
let's go with the
Or maybe,
ankles.
or,
People
yes,
have a
let's go
lot of
to the
ankle
ankles.
problems.
Yes. We have about
Yes.
4 or 5 more minutes.
Ankle pro-
So go ahead with ankle
ankle
problems.
problems are about having problems. Ankle problems are about having problems with the parents. You have a parent problem. You have either a mom problem, or you have a dad problem, or you have both problems.
Hmm.
The ankles is telling you that you have some kind of problem parent or parents. There's
Now
something
that that
going
could
on.
also that could also be applied to people that you know now that are not your physical parents, but act as a parent figure in your life. Is that correct? Did you not hear me?
Correct, correct. So
All right.
once you title a parent, you decide what kind of parent that is.
Hmm.
Okay. So something
Yeah.
about the parents. You're having
Well,
a
that's huge.
difficulty with the parent. You have difficult relationship with the parents or a
Well, that's
parent,
huge.
and whatever you call a parent, that's where you're having difficulty. Yeah, it is.
Hmm.
It
It
is.
is
It
huge.
is. And it weighs down a lot of people. Parent issue weighs down a lot of people. It is huge. It's big. And then our very final piece of our puzzle here is the feet. The feet is basically you don't have grounding and you tap it. And that's good, but that's sometimes bad. Because sometimes you'll go, like you get invited to something, you have to be there at a certain time, and you go with the mentality like, oh, I'll get there whenever. Oh, I'll make that happen. Oh, nobody really cares about whatever. You have that attitude.
Hmm.
And people are like, what? You're too busy in that realm a lot that you really don't know how it's affecting you and how it's affecting others and what's really taking place.
Yes. It's almost
Yes, I
like,
know. Mercury retrograde is really helping people. It's going to be like this until the 29th of November.
and also when we hit those obstacles, we seem to go out of our body. Like, for example, oh, I've got to contact. This is happening with me. It's like there's some people I think it's be good for me to have on the show, and I haven't contacted them because I'm a little intimidated by them. So I procrastinate, and I'm not in
Hmm.
my body. I'm off.
Yes,
Procrastination takes you out of your body instead of being grounded. That's my own opinion. And therefore, I have to look about what
correct,
is it my
correct,
fear and
correct.
what
And
is,
people don't ground like they're supposed to. Yeah, people don't ground like they're supposed
yes, it's so true.
Yes. So grounding is important in your life, but if you have that momentum, like, oh, I'll do it whenever. Oh, it'll be taken care of. Oh, I'm not gonna rush. Oh, what is it? It's good to think that way, but it can also affect your body in many ways.
It makes me think about,
It
well,
also can affect your body in many ways.
what are you resisting on feeling when you think about that obstacle that you have to approach? You know, because a lot of times we
Right.
just have a negative
What
feeling,
is that? Or
or we
why do you
know,
think
oh,
that way?
I got to suck it up and put that forward and get that job done. And then there's another part of you going, oh, I don't want to, you know, make that energy happen. I'm not going to do that. And of course, we're not
Yes.
moving.
Yes. Yes. I I know when I do that with my home. I'm like, I'll wash the dishes tomorrow. They'll be done tomorrow. I don't have to go pick this up. I'll do it whenever I have a chance or an opportunity. No, I gotta stop doing that. Gotta start going forward.
Yeah, yeah. So stay in your body
Mm,
and give yourself grace that you have a problem, then you don't have to fix it
that's
all,
true.
but what's the next
That's
step
true.
in you resolving it?
That's true. How many minutes do we have, Bart?
Oh, we have 4 minutes. So I wanted to
That's true.
ask you a
How many
question,
minutes do we got?
Ricardo. Well, I wanted to ask you, what are you doing in your life? What new
Okay.
projects are you doing?
Oh, great. Well, thank you for asking. Right now doing an event coordinating. I'm starting to do a lot of events that I'm going to be doing in 2026. I'm still doing psychic
Mm,
readings. I do tarot card readings also, and I'm mentoring people. So I've gotten to the point where people are calling me to mentor them, to show them anything in the metaphysical field. So I have 38 years of training in this field, and I know quite a bit of things. And I have students that come to me, and I'm mentoring them. So I'm showing them and I'm talking to them what is good, what is reality, how to get spirituality into your life, and maybe see and answer some questions that you have for you. At the same time, what I'm doing is I'm doing a lot of events. I'm starting the metaphysical fairs again, so I'm excited about that
mm.
arena. It's going to
But
be great. I'd like
and you
to
just
go ahead,
go
please.
ahead.
Uh-huh. Go
Well,
ahead, please.
I wanted to say, just knowing Ricardo over the last 15 years, he has a rich experience in Curandismo, of course, as a mystic, of course, as a card reader and a natural born psychic. His wealth of experience is very broad based. So, you can get mentoring or readings from someone that has such a long term experience. And you can also contact him at www.internationalmetaphysicalministry.com and schedule a session. He's very reasonable. And yeah, I just always found that you're practical, you're psychic, and cultural as well as business experience, and making all this stuff mixed together to work effectively in your life and other lives is incredible.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I tried my best and my hardest, and I love healing people. It really does. It really excites me. I like when people come to me, we talk about problems and situations, and hopefully I give them a good path for them to have a bigger and better life. So I always try to work hard to do so.
Yes, you do. And we're coming to the end of the show, and you've just been listening to Ricardo Gonzales at internationalmetaphysicalministry.com. And this is Bart Sharp, and this is Becoming Quantum Conscious at United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 107.7, 103.5. Next week we have Arena Cowan on. And Ricardo, thank you so much for being on the show.
No problems at all. It was exciting. It was fun. Makes people think.
Indeed, it does. And we hope to see y'all next week. And if you got
Bye,
questions for
everybody.
Ricardo, give him a call. Bye-bye, everybody.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.